Welcome to Top of the Hill Fitness. It's Carrie with one of our favorite workouts, 30 minutes continuous. There's Shane carefully hanging Gary Pearson's artwork for you. We'll do 45 different exercises for 40 seconds each, one flowing into the next. We'll start with the upper body, and lat pull downs will be our first exercise. So ready to go in 6 seconds. Arms up, standing tall, and you're bent at the elbows and bringing them down and feeling your scapula come together at the back. You're pressing down. You should start to feel like this is a bit of work as we get through the 45 seconds. So we've blocked this workout up into upper body, lower body, and core exercises. So first we'll do 5 upper body exercises and then move on to the lower body. So arm circles are up next. So we're still standing up, arms way out at your sides, and you're making big circles backwards. We'll do that for probably half the time and then move to forward circles. Imagine like you're trying to carry volleyballs and do that circular action really big. Now let's switch to forward circles. We've got a seal clap up next. So we're still up, and now we're just clapping in the front with straight arms. So a bit of work through your shoulders here to do that action. And I always find this one a little bit funny. We're going to get down on the mat for the next one for a plank row. So you're down on the mat in a high plank position. Do a good job of the plank, and then you're pulling one arm and then the other arm up. So it's like back into a rowing position. Sometimes we call this plank pull too. But just alternating arms for about 20 more seconds. And then we'll have our last one in this set of upper exercises with a wall push-up. Find yourself a wall and you're just leaning into it. So go as far back as you need to get straight arms, and then lowering down so that your elbows are about at 90 degrees and pushing against the wall to straighten those arms back out. Doing the wall push-up is a bit easier than doing a full push-up on the floor. And we want this to be sustainable because we're doing long intervals here. We don't want to feel like we're getting too exhausted just in the early stages of this workout. Okay, and down on the mat, we're doing glute bridges repeated. So this is the first of our lower body exercises. So you're just rolling up, lifting the hips up, pressing down through your whole foot so that you can activate your hamstrings while you're doing this. Arms up if you want to make a bigger challenge for your hips to stabilize. And slow and steady. Think about squeezing your glutes when you get to the top of the hip raise and lowering back down. And we'll stay on the mat, but flip over to your side, lifting the right leg up straight into the air and lowering back down. Using your hip and your glute, and the outer quad, the outside of your leg, to raise that leg up. 15 seconds to go. And we'll just flip that over and do the other side next. And flip over, so we'll be lifting the left leg this time. So it just goes straight up, trying to keep it straight and try to keep your foot flexed. Slow and steady here. We'll do an adductor lift on the right side next. So you can stay lying on that right side, and you're going to lift the leg that's closest to the mat, the right leg. And you're just lifting it up about a foot and slowly lowering it back down. You should feel that on the inside of your right leg on the adductor. This is a tough one to do for 40 seconds. So just slow and steady here, slow up, controlled down. We'll do that on the other side next. So flip over so that you're lifting the left leg this time. And up it goes, slow and controlled, feeling that on the inside of your left leg. So that was the 5th exercise in our first lower body set. We're going to move into the core next for 5 exercises, starting with a plank hold. Come on to your front and elbow plank position. Let's see the best plank you can do for about 30 more seconds. Tuck those hips. Try to straighten out your back. Suck in your core. Open up the back of your knees to the ceiling. Really can work every part of you with this one. We'll flip over to our backs and do heel taps next. So you're on your back, your knees are bent, feet are planted, but ankles in close to your butt. And you're just tapping your ankle side to side, getting a bit of work on the outside of your abs. Halfway there. We've got one of my favorites next, butt ups. So you're still lying on your back, but your legs are up and straight, and you're just lifting your butt and your hips off the mat a little bit, using your core to do that. You're halfway there. We'll do Pilates toe taps next. So still on your back, and you're got a 90-degree angle at the knee, and just tapping down with one foot and then the other foot, pressing your lower back into the mat to make sure that your abs stay engaged. And we've got our last core exercise in the set coming up. It is a slow raised leg curl up. So we've got the legs up and bent still. And we're just repeating that curl up action, arms, hands behind the head, and slowly rolling up and back down. And you're halfway there already. So next up, we'll work our way through the second of the upper body sets. So flip over and knees down. We'll do push-ups from the knees. Supine chest press is next. You'll be on your back. So flip over, you're on your back. It's totally going to look like I'm doing nothing in this, but if you're doing it right, you can feel it through your chest. So you've got your arms bent and you're pressing through your chest and upper arms so that you can feel like you're doing a press up with your chest. So press down into the mat with your upper arms and your shoulders. All right, good old-fashioned dips are next. So staying on your back and your hands are planted behind you, raising those hips up, using the triceps to push yourself up and lower down again. The elbows should be pointing out behind you when you're doing this. And shoulder push-ups are next. So we'll do those from a downward dog position. So come on to your front, feet planted, hands planted, and you're in a triangle formation with your body. It's a good way to isolate your shoulders for a push-up position. So you'll feel this through the shoulders, but not so much through the chest. And you're lowering your head down to the mat by bringing your elbows out to about 90 degrees bent. And then the last one in our upper body set is a plank tap. Come on up into high plank position, a nice straight plank with your butt tucked and tapping one shoulder and then the other shoulder, just alternating side to side as we move through the next 25 seconds. And then we're already on to our next set for the lower body. We'll do 5 exercises, lower body, starting with a raised heel squat. So see if you can find a board to put under your heels so that we can do our best squat form ever. So I can lower way lower with the raised heels, and it's way better for my knees too, I find. And just keep that going for 15 more seconds. We're going to do a plank jack next. So come on back to that high plank position, and we're jumping the feet out to the side at the same time, and then they come back in. This one's a tough one to keep going for 40 seconds, so take it as slow as you need to. $15 to go. Curtsy lunge is next. So come on up to standing, and you're just curtsying side to side. Sometimes it takes a bit to get the balance right on these, so just move through it slowly. Nice low curtsy. And a good bit of work on the hamstrings and the glutes. We'll do good mornings next. So you're up tall and hinging from the hips to lower down so that your back is parallel with the floor, and then using those hamstrings and your glutes to raise yourself back up again. And you're already halfway there. And for the last one in this lower body set, we'll do a reverse lunge. So you'll be stepping out behind you and then bringing that leg back to the front and moving on to the other leg. So we're alternating sides for this. And just keep it going for 25 more seconds. And we'll be back to the core for the next 5 exercises, starting with a dead bug. So you're on your back, and knees bent 90 degrees, and arms up. And you extend opposite arm and leg, and then bring them back to that center position. So take a moment to sort of stick that landing when you extend the opposite arm and leg, and then bring them back. And you're using your core to do these actions. Prairie dog is next. Come on to your hands and knees. And we'll do the reverse of the dead bug. So you are extending opposite arm and leg and taking a beat to pause when you get those extended so that you're making sure your glutes are turned on and you're using your abs, things are stretched out, and then return it to the starting position. We're going to do a bear shoulder tap next. So up into bear crawl position, that just means taking your knees off the mat, and you're going to tap opposite hand to shoulder, alternating. So this one, you want to take some time to make sure you're not rocking around. So that means using your abs to keep some stability in this position. And we'll do a butterfly sit-up next. So this is just a different kind of sit-up. We've got the insides of the feet together so that the knees are wide open, like the butterfly position, and just slowly raising and lowering, curling up and lowering down. 15 seconds to go. We'll do a body saw from elbow plank next. And so you're over on your front again in elbow plank position. And you're just rocking back and forth on your toes. So you're extending forward and then coming backwards. I like the additional kind of stretch feeling you get doing the saw. And next up is our last set of upper body exercises, diamond push-ups to start. So make a diamond shape out of your forefingers and your thumb. Place that down on the mat, and from your knees, you're lowering down and using those triceps to push back up again. We'll do a high plank to side plank rotation next. So starting from high plank, push up into that position, rotating to side plank, replacing that hand, and rotating the other way for side plank the other side. Try to remember to keep that plank a nice straight line from shoulders to heels. We're going to do a downward dog and ankle tap to knee push up. So starting in downward dog, tap the ankle, and then we get down to the a knee push-up position. You might have to back up a bit to do that. And then up to downward dog, tap the other ankle, come down to the push-up. So you're kind of all over the place in this one, but it's a nice way to pass the time. And you get that nice little bit of stretch break in the downward dog. Lateral plank walk is next. So we're up in that high plank position still and walking to the side and coming back to the starting position, but that just means you're walking to the other side too. And try to keep those hips tucked for a nice straight plank. I see my butt inching up as we go along here. Just 15 seconds to go. Slow and steady, walking out to one side and then to the other. We'll do an inchworm next to round this out. This is one of my favorites. Start at one end of the mat with your arms way up and come on down, plant them on the mat and walk them out so you're in a high plank position. And you get lots of stretching in this one too. Let it feel good. And we'll be into our last of the lower body exercises with foot over toe to start. So get your back up against a wall if you've got one and you're sitting on the floor and legs are out in front of you and you're lifting one foot up and then the other foot. So you'll really need to use your quads to do that. So hopefully you feel this workout is moderate, very doable. Hopefully you could keep it going for the 30 minutes. We're not there yet. We've got a few more to go. Lateral lunge is up next. So up to standing, and we'll lunge out to one side and lunge out to the other side. The idea behind this is to get some good work in, but not to have it feel impossible. So slow down if this feels too tough. We're hopping on the right side next. So we're going to do a hop side to side on the right side. So this can be tough to keep going for many, many seconds. So you might have to slow this one down a little bit. But it is a great thing to be able to hop. We'll do left side next. Hopping side to side on the left foot. So this might be an exercise that you can work on if you're having trouble leaving the ground for this. Maybe you just do 1 or 2 hops and then you're stepping. But over time, you can build this. Sumo squat with double calf raise is next. So legs are wide and toes pointed out to the side. And you lower down into the sumo squat. And then we're doing calf raises with both feet at the same time. So heels are coming off and raising up. And just keep that going. You might have to slow that pace down because this comes up on you after a while. 10 seconds to go. We'll do a hollow body rock next. And so you're on your back on the mat for this, and legs are out straight, and trying to keep your shoulders and back straight too, and doing a rock so that you're lowering the back down to the mat, but still trying to keep the legs off the ground, trying to keep that hollow position. Return to it after you do the rock. 10 seconds to go. Scissors are next. That was tough. So legs are up and straight, and we're doing a quick scissor action. Pressing that lower back into the mat to keep those abs engaged. You're halfway there. We've got a fun one next, rolling like a ball. So just 3 more core exercises and we'll be done our workout. So make yourself into a ball by grabbing around your shins and just roll so it probably feels pretty good on the back, and then coming forward. You get the idea. Halfway there. Row your boat is next. Maybe it's just fun to call this row your boat, but it looks an awful lot like a Russian twist. Legs are up and bent, and you are moving your hands to tap side to side. So this takes a lot of effort from the core to stay stable in that position and to keep it going. Ten seconds to go. We're going to do hip dips to finish this up. So you're in a high plank position and dipping towards one side and then the other. Or you can be in elbow plank position, either one. And try to get that hip close to the mat. Maybe you can even touch it and then come back to the plank position. Trying to keep that butt down though and hips tucked. Straight line when you're in that plank position. But just 10 seconds to go. We are almost done. I think that got kind of tough by the end, but hopefully you're feeling like it was something you could keep going for 30 minutes with, and you definitely got your exercise for the day. Thanks to Gary Pearson for his painting, and thanks for working out with us. Please subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you next time at Top of the Hill.